Okay, hey everybody. Okay, now you might have gotten these videos today. I don't expect you to see them on Sunday, but please look through them. Be sure to look at all the parts on that email. I have a few things I'm pointing out to you. So pay attention to that and make sure on Monday you're all set. So this is the first of the two videos. We're just going to be dealing with the word problems, because I know the word problems are a little more tough for you. They can be a little more complex. It's not as simple as just being given an equation and being told answer for X. This is where you have to put your thinking caps on. You got to figure some stuff out, but there's usually a pretty good process involved. Okay, so let's I want to go through first the checklist that would be involved. Whoops, not that one. This one. This is the word problem checklist. Now, if you follow these rules, you're probably going to end up doing okay. All right. Now, this isn't always going to be the case, what I'm showing you here, but most of the time, this is the way you do it. So let's go through it. First, you're going to model it. In other words, you're going to read the question very carefully. You're going to read it really carefully, and then you're going to make a picture. Basically, if you make a picture, that means you're going to really understand what you're trying to do, because you're dealing with reality. It's not just numbers. It relates to some sort of reality. So drawing a picture always makes it much easier to understand. Then you got to ask yourself, number two, what am I looking for? What am I trying to solve? Because if you sometimes when you guys do a test, you answer a question, but that wasn't even what I was asking you to solve. You just think, oh yeah, I know I recognize the problem, I know what to do, and you just answer the problem. But you never even check to see what was Mr. Gale looking for. Number three, simple. You're going to make an equation, because everything's going to eventually lead to math, and you're going to make an equation with the math, and then finally you're going to solve it. Now, most of the time, word problems are going to end up with more than one different variable. Like you might remember today we did the fence surrounding three sides and the river on the other side. You realized you were doing x times y, and so you ended up with a perimeter equation and an area calculation, and both those equations had an x and a y, but you found that you could solve it by substituting one into the other. So a lot of these involve substitution. Let's see if the next one I show you does involve it. So I'm going to look at a question here. All right, three sides of a right triangle are 3x, x plus 1, with the hypotenuse having a side of 4x minus 3. And I have to determine the triangle's dimensions. So what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find how long are all the sides of the triangle. But what do I have to do first? What did I tell you? You got to draw a picture. So let's draw a picture. First off, it's a right triangle. So I know that this triangle is going to be one with 90 degrees. And we've been dealing with 90-degree triangles all our lives. We know the deal. You make the little square there, and we're ready to go. Now, the only thing, I have to read this carefully because I noticed that, okay, it's telling me the hypotenuse. They're not all on random sides. The hypotenuse has specifically the side 4x minus 3. Okay, so that means these other two sides are the legs of this triangle. So I got 3x, and here I got x plus 1. Okay, great. So what do I do? Well, all these word problems usually involve you needing to know something else you learned some other time. For example, when we were doing the fence question, you'd know how to get the area of a triangle and what perimeter was. But now I'm dealing with a right triangle, so what kind of equations do I need to know? Well, I do know the Pythagorean theorem. I've always known that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that could probably help me out. Let me see what happens. So I'll just write it out. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Does this help me out? Well, sure. This is a right triangle. This is my a, this is my b, this is my c. So why don't I just simply plug them in and see what happens? Okay, so I would have my a, that would be my 3x. That would get squared. And I would add my b, which is an x plus, oh, that's going to get a little complicated. But that's okay, that's okay. We've done this before. And then I'm going to have a c, a 4x minus 3 squared. So this is, wow, this is going to get a little, here, I'm going to take this guy, because this guy's going to get complicated. I got a lot of stuff to do with him, so I'm going to bring him way over here, and we're going to kind of brutally go through all of it and find out what we end up with. Okay, so 3x squared, what is that? Well, that's 3x by 3x, so that's not so bad. That just means the 3 gets squared and the x gets squared. 9x squared, no problem. This one, okay, I got an x plus 1 times an x plus 1. That's what a squared is. You're multiplying it by itself, so okay, I'm going to have to work that out later. And this one, same thing. 4x minus 3 times 4x minus 3. Whoops, I don't know what I just wrote there. Hang on. Erase that. Try again. 4x minus 3. Okay, so now I gotta go through it. I got my 9x squared. What else now? What do I got in this one? I've got, well, you guys know how to do this. You have no problem with this. I know you don't. X squared plus 1x plus another x plus 1 times 1, 1 equals, okay, this is a little more complicated, but we can do this. We can do this. 16x squared, then the 4x minus 3, okay, that's minus, what is that, 12x, and then the minus 3 times 4x, that's another minus 12x, and then I got a minus 3 times a minus, that's positive 9. Okay, I got a lot of stuff here, but some of it can be combined, so this isn't horrible. This is going to work out. We're going to be okay. Let's see what happens. I'll bring the 16 over and combine it with the 9. That's my 2x squareds. Okay, so 9 minus 16, that's minus 7x squared. I'm trying to do this all in my head. And then I got an, wait a minute, what I got here? Oh, another x squared. So this isn't minus 6. This is minus 7 plus 1. That's actually minus 6x squared. And then I'm going to have, this is an x plus an x, that's 2x. And then I'm this is minus 24x, but I bring it over, it's going to be positive 24. So positive 24 plus, how's this going to work? I'm going to get a positive 26x. Okay, that's pretty big, but maybe this is going to work out. Who knows? And then I got a 1, I got a 9, so that's going to end up being minus 8. And what do I have on this? Well, I took everything on this side and I brought it over here, so I'm left with 0. Oh, I love it. I've got roots. I can solve roots. This is not a problem. We've done this forever. And you know what? I'm going to be totally lazy, and I'm going to plug in basically exactly what I see into, oh yes, I'm going to use my quadratic equation, because it always works. Negative b plus or minus, we all remember this. I don't even need to say this, but I'm just being really meticulous here to make sure you totally remember it. But I can solve my roots by simply x equals that equation. And I just plug in my little bits of every part. So what's this going to look like? Okay, negative b, that's negative 26 plus or minus the root of, okay, 26 squared. I might have to get my calculator up for this. 4 times, I'm going to have to look for a calculator. I definitely have to look for a calculator. 4 times negative 6 and then negative 8. So that's going to be a negative times a negative times a negative. I'm going to end up with a I'm going to end up with a negative there. So hopefully that works out. And then I'm going to be dividing by 2 times a, which is a negative, 2 times 6, negative 12. Okay, so this is, well, it's a little complicated. It's a little complicated. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so we got a minus 26 plus or minus the root of, okay, 26 squared is 676, and subtracting 4 times 6 times 8, that is 192. All over minus 12 still. I'm going to run out of room. So very quickly I'm going to say it's minus 26 plus or minus the root of 76 minus 192 is 484, and square rooted is, oh, that's lovely, it's 22. That is awesome. It works out perfectly, and divide by minus 12. Now, you're going to find out some answers there. You're going to get something out of that. What are we going to get? You will get an answer of, eventually, what you're going to find is that you're going to get 2 answers. You're going to get x equals 13 plus 11 divided by 6. It's going to be equal to 4. Let me just tell you the answers. Now you can work this out on your own. You don't need to see me doing all of this, really. So it's x equals 4, comma, and the other one is a third. And the question is, does this work? Does this work? Do both these answers work? So I want to look at this and see if I get, now the only one I'm a little worried about is the 4x minus 3, because I have a negative there. So what happens? So let's just find ourselves a little space over here. The hypotenuse length is equal to 4x minus 3. So the question is, and let me make sure I got this right. Okay, 4 times, okay, let's try the first x. It'll be 4 times 4 minus 3. What do I get out of that? I'm going to get 16 minus 3. 16 minus 3 is 13. Looks good. Looks really good. Okay, what about the other one? That would be 4 times a third minus 3. And that's basically 4 thirds. 4 times 1/3 is 4 over 3. And that's 1 1/3. 1 1/3 is going to equal a negative, I don't even need to work it out. This is going to end up being a negative number. Can I have a negative length? Of course I can't. That is ridiculous. How can you measure something to be as long as -2 or something like that? It just doesn't make sense. So I already know that this, here, I'm going to make a nice big red thing. This is no good. Oh, no good, no good, it's no good. My winner is 4. So in fact, even though there's possibly going to be 2 answers, sometimes one of them just doesn't work and you have to test it out. So, and also while I'm at it, I want to determine the dimensions. I'd have to plug 4 into this one, and into this one. So 4x minus 3, that's my 13. 3 times 4, that means this is 12. And 4 plus 1, this is 5. And I'd get all the sides to my triangle. I'm all done. So that's a basic word problem. So if you need to, look through this again. Remember, there's only a few types of word problems you're going to get. You're going to get the one where you got to find some area or perimeter. Maybe you're going to do something with triangles. You might be asked, remember the money one. Don't remember the one about revenue. If we did that in the test and the quiz, so look through that sometime and see if you can do those as well. Okay, so check out the next video.